Hey Sabrina, let's take a look at your week 3, assignment 3 drawing. The table itself has really refined itself from the last assignment. I thought that you did pretty much everything that you could possibly do to get the table to work correctly in this drawing. The perspective is working out much better than what we were seeing in the last one, where I don't notice any kind of issues with it in either kind of direction that it's receding to. The texture is, I think, even more refined than the last time. There's a nice amount of color mixture. There's a lot of variation with it. The texture on the top, I think, is terrific. It feels very reflective and almost seems like it's pulling from the environment a bit and getting some of those blues and some of the colors that are around the table itself. And the detail work is just very good. You know, you've got multiple layers to the table. The bottom one with kind of the slats are looking good, and then the way that it kind of makes that bend on the table legs is consistent all the way around. So this guy just in general is excellent. You know, everything about it I think is working out very nicely. I'm not sure about the floor. Personally, I think it does overtake the drawing a bit. And I don't know what you're using to cover with. It doesn't seem like marker to me because it's too even, and it almost feels like photoshopped in. I'm not sure, but it's too different, I think, is the first thing that really just stands out for me. It's so flat and consistent. It almost feels like a computer, coverage, like with the fill tool. And you can tell the difference almost immediately. There's, no modulation, there's no texture, there's no, mark making being done here. But then everywhere else where there is, here we can see individual strokes being made with the colored pencil. I can see underlayer of modulation of value with the color of the blue. The table, you can see both the colored pencil and how it's being shaded and the marker underneath it. So it feels all handmade, and it feels like there's a lot of kind of movement to things and a lot of kind of art quality that you only get from materials like pencil on paper. But here it feels different. It feels very, very different. And then the color is just so strong. It's just it's very bright yellow. It takes up a very large amount of space, and I think that unlike the blue, where we actually see bits of blue in the table itself in a few areas, we're not really seeing the yellows to the degree that we're seeing it on the floor in place. So I think for me, it just is a little bit too much. I think that there's just it's a little too strong. It contrasts, I think, a little bit too much with the stuff that's around it. And it just feels too different from everything else that's around it. So I'm not sure where it's kind of coming from. I don't know like how it's being applied, but it just doesn't feel like it's fitting with it. Everything else, though, it really works out to me, and I almost wish I could see what was going on underneath it, because I think I like what I'm seeing here with kind of the wood, and it looks like there's even like a puddle or something, or glass on the floor. That kind of stuff I like a lot. I think that part is working out really well, but it feels very kind of disjointed with the yellow part, and I think you'd kind of just be better off trying to deal with the environment as it would occur naturally, rather than kind of trying to put something else in that may or may not. I think it was risky, I guess. You took a risk, and for me it doesn't quite work, but not because of the risk itself, but just kind of just some of the ways that it feels within the composition. I don't know, it's tough to kind of put it into words, which is basically my job. But it's still a good job with what we see in place. The drawing for the table, the background with the blue, the use of the materials, all these things, perspective, all these things are a big improvement from the last assignment, and it feels, the object itself especially feels terrific, and I couldn't ask for kind of a better table to be rendered.